Hi and welcome to Alien Underwater. My name's James. This is my first YouTube video, so be kind. I thought what better way to start than to discuss the new Christopher Nolan film, Tenet.
To do what I do, I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
I'm not saying Armageddon here.
No. Something worse.
Tenet was meant to come out April this year. Instead, it came out in August. The reason being, unless you've been living under a rock or you're Jared Leto on your own island, you'd know that we've been in lockdown. So Tenet instead came out 25th, 26th of August. I work in a cinema. I was very fortunate enough to go and see it on the 31st of August. Now, I'd heard a few things from customers and from mates, differing reviews of Tenet. Some were saying it was very good, some were saying the complete opposite. Some were coming out about 30 minutes after the film had started saying, I don't want any part of that, it's confusing, it's not enjoyable, it's too loud, this, that, the other. So, straight away I was a bit worried. I was a bit like, oh no, is this going to be bad? So I went to watch it anyway because I'm quite sad and I've missed the cinema. I've missed being in the cinema. Being in a dark room is my heaven. So for 2.5 hours I was sat in a very social distanced screen. The closest people to me were way on the other side. So that was really enjoyable because I couldn't hear anyone talking. So I could literally focus on the film. Brilliant. I've missed the cinema, I've missed the trailers, I've missed the music, I've missed everything, the smell, the popcorn. So Tenet seemed perfect, and what I did was I just said, you know what, ignore what everyone said, maybe they were wrong, some of the critics have said this is good, let's watch it. And I genuinely was quite disappointed with Tenet, and honestly I was very bored, which I've never had in a Christopher Nolan film. I find that to be quite offensive to any filmmaker if you're bored. But after about 40 minutes, I started to check my watch to see how long was left, and that is like serious red flag. Because in no film should you think to yourself, how long's left of this? I want it to be finished now. One of the main issues I had with Tenet was the sound. It was so loud. It's so loud. It drowned nearly everything else out. The dialogue, the soundtrack, which is actually brilliant, and I don't know whether they rushed the editing for the sound. I don't know if the sound mixing was done incorrectly or they genuinely wanted you to be deafened. But there's a few moments where I was like, whoa. There was a scene where they're having a gunfight, and Robert Pattinson, literally, in one particular shot, I thought I was being shot at myself. I turned around, Jesus, did everyone else hear that? That's not a good sign. I know you should be immersed into in a film, but not at that level. And then to make matters worse, there's a scene where a boat is going backwards, and I felt like I was on the boat. I felt like the waves were crashing against me, and I thought I was having a panic attack. I felt like I was going to be sick. Again, immerse the audience into the film by any means, but don't take it so far where I actually feel sick. Even the Safdie brothers don't do that. And it just, there was so many points where I was like, I kind of want to leave. First thing here, right? It's not because I was confused. It's not because I didn't understand the film. I've had so many mates say to me, you need to go and watch it again because clearly you didn't understand it. I did understand it. The film made sense. It just wasn't, in no way was it realistic. So yes, it made sense. But with other Nolan films, even with Inception, there was a small part of me was like, that could actually happen. But with Tenet, I was like, that's just not possible. That's like the Force. So basically the idea of Tenet is that you can inverse things. So if you've held something, you've had it in your hand, and it drops down, you can bring it back up, and it will come straight back into your hand. Clemence Posey's only role in this film is to basically tell you the plot, or to tell you the main premise. And that is, she says to John David Washington, shoot your gun. But don't actually shoot the gun, the bullets will come back into your gun. So he has the ability to inverse things, and basically the aim is to stop World War III. So someone has done something in the future, but they've been able, someone's done something in the future, but they've been able to inverse time in such a way that they can use that now and create World War III.
Time travel. No. Inversion.
Aim it and pull the trigger. You're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it.
Horrible.
So the premise is actually very interesting, but as more and more as the film goes on, the interest just wanes. And there's a point where the film starts to relive past set pieces, right? And I just wasn't invested emotionally, mentally. I just wasn't interested because I was like, well, it's already happened. I know how it ended. I know how that fight ended. It's gonna end the same way. And you feel like, yeah, even though it's been sped up a little bit in the second half, you just feel like you're living through the same thing. And there are a few moments as well where the sound is so loud, like I mentioned before, where you actually miss dialogue and you're like, I could have done with subtitles there because I don't know what has just been said. And now I feel like I've lost a part of the film. I also feel, apart from the sound, one of the other things that really let me down about the film is that it's a Nolan film, and at no point did I genuinely feel wowed, right? And that's really weird because there's so many amazing set pieces, but at no point was I like, that's cool. Because I just thought it was dumb. I just thought it was silly. And that's one of the biggest things that annoyed me, because even with Interstellar, I remember watching Interstellar and thinking, this is amazing. This is just wonderful. It's had me crying. It's had me like completely taken aback, sat me on the edge of my seat. And then I've rewatched, I don't know why I've acted all those things out. Then I've rewatched it on DVD and I was like, oh, this has got so many problems. And I think that's because you have to have the experience of it in the cinema. So for that, do watch Tenet. If you are planning to watch Tenet, watch it in the cinema. Don't wait for it to come out on DVD or watch a copy of it, because you're just going to think this isn't very good. You're going to turn it off. And I think that's a real disservice to the actors. The actors they're really good. John David Washington holds it well. That guy he's going to go on to be in further blockbusters, and he will put bums on seats, in my opinion. Arpats is brilliant. He's going from strength to strength. He's brilliant. I'm really looking forward to him as the Batman. At first I wasn't sure, but seeing the trailer, seeing him in this, fine. Take my money. Elizabeth Debicki, she was my favourite thing in this. And that's saying a lot, because Kenneth Branagh, her partner in the film, is brilliant. He hams it up as a Russian psychopath, and he's wonderful. He really is. But she is really, really good, top of the game. And yet she has probably the silliest line in the film. So there's a scene where they're on a boat that's inverted back into time. They're trying to stop the potential end of the world. And Neil, Robert Pattinson's character, says to the protagonist, everyone in the world will die. And she responds with, even my son? Well, that's how it works. Like, if everyone's going to die, yes, your son will die as well. He's not some sort of Terminator that's going to survive it. Come on, like. And I remember thinking, oh, it's really bad. It's really bad. Like, it's sort of like I've woken up out of my disenjoyment of the film. Heard that line, and I was like, oh no. And I had like the loudest sigh, and I felt awful because everyone around me probably heard it and thought, oh, why is he? Shut up. But it's just so poor, you know. And she didn't deserve it because her character and her performance is really good, and that's not the case in every Nolan film. Look at Sky Hansen in Prestige. Forgot she was in it until I rewatched it the other day. So there are a few things with Tenet where I think, had this come out when it was originally meant to, before lockdown, I don't think it'd have been loved as much. I think people are like, this isn't very good. And I think one of the issues is that because it has come out after such a long time without film, critics have automatically loved it because they've had nothing else. And the only other two films that are out at the minute are Unhinged and The New Mutants, the final X-Men film, which has just been in development hell for 2 years. They were never going to make a good film out of that. So Tenet is the one where everyone's going to be like, I can't wait to watch this and I can't wait to love it, and it's Christopher Nolan and I'm going to love it. As well as that, one of the things is that people are saying, obviously go and see it again, like I mentioned before, and that's like someone saying to me, go and watch Joker again because it won't be as depressing. Now, the thing is with Joker, I genuinely came out of it really low. For about 2 days, I was really, really down. I was really depressed. There was nothing fun about Joker. And if someone said to me, go and watch again, it won't be depressing. Yeah, it will be. And if someone says to me, go and watch Tenet again, it won't be as anxiety-inducing and it won't be as self-indulgent again. No, it will be. And I'll think to myself, why have I wasted another 2.5 hours? And I think that's one of the things I find really hard to believe, that I've come out of a Christopher Nolan film and thought to myself, I've wasted 2.5 hours there. And I never expected to say that. Like I say, if you are going to go watch Tenet, I still would. After everything I've said, I still would. Because I'm saying it as if I've not seen it. So with a fresh mind, I still would. And I would recommend people to see it, because we need to start going back to cinemas. And we need to start trying to get back into new normal. Of course, social distance, wear a mask, all that. That's absolutely right. Make other people feel safe. And experiencing the cinema. It's just a shame that it had to be this film. And I just worry. I just think, what will this do now for maybe No Time to Die? Because Tenet's not making a lot of money. It's only made about 100 million, I think. And I don't know if producers of other films are going to say, that's enough of a reason for me to put films out. But let's hope that No Time to Die comes out. That'll be the next big one. And let's hope that critics don't react the way they did to this, to that. Alright guys, well, nice one for watching if you have tuned in. I'm not expecting a lot of people to tune in at this point, with it being the first video. But genuinely, if you have tuned in, thank you so much. I love film. I love it. I've come across as a bit awkward in this, a bit nervous. I've probably missed a few things that I wanted to say. But yeah, genuinely, if you did like it, leave a like, leave a comment on how I could improve the video, anything like that. Subscribe if you want. At the moment, it'll probably just be me rewatching it on loop, like subscribing, unsubscribing, subscribing. But no, seriously, after everything we've been through, it's great to have cinema back. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and I'll see you next week.
I didn't like any of that.